Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Quantum Nomads TV. This is Therapeutic Thursday. It's a special edition because we actually got the creator of the technology with us today. That's what we're going to be talking about, a technology. Before we get started, I'm just going to write down Lisa. I'm going to just share a quick disclaimer with everybody. It's called the Limbic Arc technology, and it's not intended to diagnose, cure, treat, or treat any disease or medical condition. But what you're going to be listening to today are people's personal experiences with this technology. So with that, let's do some favorite boosts. If you got a favorite boost that you want to share with us, just put 333 in the chat, and we'll start. We'll start with Fiona. Aloha. What's your favorite boost and why?
Aloha, everybody. Gosh, right now it's the custom boost, and I'm committing to running it for 14 days. And it's been going for 4 days now. And wow, I have not wanted to move my body in exercise or movement as much as I have in the past 4 days. I have I have a little home gym of a little exercise bicycle and a rebounder. And during our Quantum Nomads calls in the morning, I hop on the bike for 20 minutes, and then I hop on the rebounder for 20 minutes, and then I do the bike again for 20 minutes. So I've been moving for 60 minutes, and I don't have the exhaustion or the muscle aches or the muscle pains that I would have in the past. And I mean, this is huge because for the past 2.5 years, I've been working with the big C and getting the big C out of my body. And so it's really great to just have all this energy. And I woke up this morning and actually my body was like, go for a walk. So I even did a 15-minute walk before I did anything else. And so that's huge. I love the custom for that.
Right on. Super cool. Hey, before we go any further, let's find out where everyone's from. We got over 100 people already on this call. Let's just put where you're from in the chat, and I'll see if I can keep up with you guys. We got Las Vegas, Illinois, New Zealand, Georgia, North Carolina, Georgia, Colorado, Canada, Australia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Canada, Australia, Ecuador, Hawaii, Tennessee, New Zealand, Texas, Summerland, BC. Cool. I've been there. Idaho, Minnesota, Canada, New Zealand, Colorado, Wisconsin, San Diego, Montreal, Canada, Surrey, Canada, Maryland, Canada, California, Vermont, Washington, Riverside, California, Florida, Minnesota, Vancouver, Canada, Montana. We got Alberta, Illinois, Virginia. We got California, Albuquerque, Massachusetts. Jamaica's in the house. Curacao, I think I got it right this time. Florida. We got Perth, Australia, Kamloops, BC, Canada, and Kansas. Wow, we got people from all over the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this wonderful planet. Let's keep going with favorite boosts. Oh, let's see how many new people we got. If you're brand new, put 111 in the chat for us, just so we can welcome you. Just go 111 if you're brand new. Awesome, Nicole. Hey, welcome. Wow, Joshua. We got Vanessa. We got Dr. Sarah. We got Gigi, Christine, Lisa Borman, Jackie. We got Belkis. We got 486-023-48152. We got Penny Rollins. Welcome. Hey, welcome, guys. You know what? We tell people to go share the love. So you're here because someone cares about you. And that's awesome. We welcome you to our community, and I hope you get lots out of it. We sure do. We keep coming back. We're addicted. There should be a disclaimer about possible addiction to this meeting because people just keep coming back. Let's head over to Ron Murray. What's your favorite boost and why, my friend?
Well, mine is the custom, and I just really had a heartwarming experience with my brother in West Virginia. I just did a remote for him. He's not too internet savvy, and neither is his wife, and I've been talking to him about it. And he's been suffering with leukemia for 10 years, and he's got sugar diabetes, and He's 4 years older than I am, just a beautiful man. And I can't say what it did to me to be able to do that. And I just applaud everyone involved in this, you know, Dr. Cook and Ron and Carl and everybody, to enable somebody to reach out and touch someone like that. And that really means a lot.
Right on, man.
That's my favorite boost.
Thank you for sharing with us, Ron. You're awesome, man. We're going to go over to Jennifer. What's your favorite boost and why?
Am I the only Jennifer? I love inflammation. It did remarkable things for me in less than 24 hours. I had quite a bit of swelling in my knees, and my left knee had a big bulge, and within 24 hours it was completely gone. My mobility had changed, my pain.
Wow.
So I'm a big fan. So far that's been my favorite.
Right on. Thank you for sharing. Joshua, what's your favorite boost and why?
I also, next to the custom, I switched over to I literally just jumped on at like noon today, and immediately noticed. So obviously everybody that's experienced this is without words. But I had contacted Tony I run a Forex platform, and I had talked to her because she was with the company that I was previously with, and she kind of she was open-minded, and our conversation didn't even start with Forex. It was 2 hours. We were on the phone for a total of 2 hours this morning talking about energy and quantum. Yeah, so I have some experience with just diving into and unraveling subconscious beliefs, and it's pushed me through away from addiction and into a different life. And then I understood exactly what she was talking about, and I had a free 20 minutes, and within even just the energy coming in while we were doing it was wild. And it was like I was driving I was about an hour away from where I live, and like all of these emotions started to surface, and things that I don't know, so it was not necessarily that I wasn't aware of them, but it was like this unraveling that was just at a different turn of the spiral. It was really cool. So I think how that had to do with the custom, all of the different pieces. And I know she formatted it a little differently. She got me to add like 5 more things. And then the focus, I had so much business stuff to do, like an hour away, and I was just so dialed in, but it was like a calm focus. It wasn't like a scattered caffeine focus. And I did it all fasted too, and you come home fasted, and I'm just a grumpy old man. So it was wild to see some things unravel. It was good. I tried to explain it to people, and I was like, there's this thing, and it's like it's this stuff, and I can't explain it, but I'm gonna try my best. So it was I'm very grateful.
Awesome.
Super cool, man.
Hey, where are you calling from, Joshua? Where are you calling from?
I'm in Kamloops.
Oh, perfect. Nice.
Well, actually, I'm in Merritt. I moved from Kamloops to Merritt, and then I'm just hanging out here for a while. And then, I run a birthday party business with my girlfriend. I dress up as Spider-Man for kids' birthdays. And then, so we've moved out here and expanded, and it's super fun. But,
Thanks for jumping on and sharing us your experience, man. It's good to have you on.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what transpires.
Right on. Super cool, man. Thanks for sharing. Lisa, what's your favorite boost and why?
Totally resolve. Literally, like, my brain is usually working really fast, and I've functioned at a high, fast brain level, and I've been like walking through mud for months. And like the minute I turn that on, it's like it turned my brain on. And I've been working with Dr. Cook for like 22 years. So like I work with his technology. I had a Limbic Arc in the 90s. So it's like, I've been around this a long time, but this is fabulous just to have this 24/7.
Right on. Super cool. Thank you for sharing your.
Good to see you, Lisa.
Hi, Vaughn.
That's awesome. How about Eska? What's your favorite boost and why? Eska. Okay, let's go to Ruth. What's your favorite boost and why, Ruth? We'll come back to Eska.
That me? I've only been on for a week last night, but I've really put it through its paces in the last 36 hours. I had to get some minor dental surgery done, and so straight afterwards, it was a bit more traumatic in their words than they would have expected. So they're expecting, a lot of pain and inflammation and stuff. So when I got home, I put on pain and inflammation. Unfortunately, I couldn't spark again yet because I didn't know I was going to be doing that. So I'd sparked earlier in the day, but I noticed straight away and I was feeling good in the morning. But as soon as I could respark at 11 a.m., I resparked, and straight away, all the pain, inflammation went to the point where this morning I was brushing my teeth and I had forgotten because there was no pain. And I'm eating normally. It's just amazing. And I can compare it to another time where I've had the same thing done, but it was an easy one. So no trauma hit, or it wasn't a difficult one. But that time I had to take painkillers and anti-inflammatories for a few days. I couldn't eat properly for a few days. So like completely opposite. And it was just blowing my mind at the moment.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And finally, Amber, what's your favorite boost and why?
I actually like Resolve. Resolve was fabulous. And within, 4 hours of having it on, like I was up and completing all those things that I'd kind of pushed off to the side. It wasn't all, that ton of, run energy. It was just this really nice, smooth paced, like, hey, look I'm getting all this stuff done. It was great.
Right on. Thank you for sharing. Thank you everyone for sharing. It really helps when you're sharing your favorite boost with other people. That's how we all learn together, right? And now I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, Bob Byram.
Awesome. Well, I get to do the next phase of what we're doing tonight, and that is bringing on our special guests. And tonight we have a roundtable discussion. And you know what? Before we do that, let me just put out a couple of announcements so we don't have to come back to me. And that is, tomorrow we have Formula Friday with Ron Spence. Ron, I think what he does is studies all week long, and then he just like lets us have it. So you want to be there tomorrow for Ron. He's going to go over, different things that are happening, and it'll be terrific. So Formula Friday, that's 3 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. So you want to be there with Ron and the rest of the gang. Super Boost Saturday with Carl Hulbitson. Learn how to maximize your boost. Maybe some things you hadn't thought about before. That would be cool. It's a really good time, and he does a really good job on that. And then next Thursday, a week from tonight, we have Todd Falcone that's going to be with us. He's a master in our industry. He's had best-selling books on the subject. We were trying to get him for Teamwork Tuesday, but he was booked. So we're going to have him a week from tonight, guys. You want to be there, and you want to have your team on there as part of that. Todd Falcone, and that's at 9 p.m. That's the PM edition of Therapeutic Thursday, 9 p.m., same as tonight that we're doing. Also, you want to be part of the Facebook group that we're on. That's quantumnomads.com, and that goes to our Facebook group. You want to be part of that. The Facebook page, which is quantumnomads.info. On the page, there's a lot of different videos that have been edited. That's terrific. So, like our special guests, we get their videos edited. Daniel does a great job with that, puts them out there on the .info site. And then also you want to be part of Telegram. telegrams where we get all our announcements of what's going on and everything like that. So there, we got those out of the way. Now let's bring on the special guests. So our first guest does not really need introduction. Everyone knows who Dr. Cook is for the most part. I know we have a lot of new people on here tonight, but Dr. Vaughn Cook has been in the space for a lot of years, and he's developed some technologies and had his company Zyto for the last 16 years. And you know, as you heard earlier, that there's been people working with his technology for a long time. Well, in the last couple of years, he got together with Ron Spence, and they created something that is working for people all over the world, as we heard tonight. So that's really cool. Dr. Vaughn's on, Dr. Cook's on with us tonight. And then we have a roundtable discussion, and we've got people from all over the world. So first we have from Australia, we've got Corey Michelle, and Corey's been a great addition to the Quantum Nomads, and she understands the space, and I can't wait to hear the questions that they're going to come up with for Dr. Cook, and I'll bet he can't wait as well. And so we're going to hear the really cool questions, really cool answers. And then we've got Delaney. Delaney is in New Zealand, so just a little bit over to the west from Australia. We've got New Zealand, and she's going to be also on that panel. And then we got Tracy Tracy, forgive me, Reifescheid, right? Is that how you say it? Yes or no, Daniel? Okay, sorry about that, everybody, but Tracy's on here, and Tracy's been just a bundle of energy. She's been great to be on here. She was a special guest a couple of days ago, and Tracy's on the panel as well. And she's from Canada, so we've got 4 countries represented tonight, all over the world. And I'm going to turn it over to you ladies. Make it happen.
Awesome. We are so excited. We have a special little group with Wendy Dayton, and we've just been like, so excited about this. And thank you so much, Ron and Bob, for organizing this, and Dr. Cook for being willing to come on and allow us to ask you these questions. So we would like to probably take it a little bit different than standard questions. And so we would like to begin, like we've heard you talk about, you know, your health experience and coming across those remedies for allergies and how that started you on the journey. We're really interested in also the consciousness around this, because this technology is so unique, and the way that it's affecting people in more than just the delivery of nutraceuticals. So it's changing the vibration that people are operating at. There is more joy, there is more kindness. Now, that doesn't happen without some kind of connection, like in a consciousness space. So we would really like to hear your journey and how it all came together from that medical side and the technology and this incredible contribution to consciousness and creating a better world.
Well, that's an easy question. I'm just kidding. Well, let's see. You know, I think it's just an evolution of experience and application, and inspiration and contribution from people who have gone before me. It's, you know, it's a real honor to be recognized as the creator of this technology, but I have to give lots of credit to everybody who contributed to all of the knowledge that I've gained over the years. So I don't want to make this sound like it's, you know, like I have some kind of super consciousness, because I don't think I do. I think I'm energetically sensitive, and I tell people I think I'm a fairly smart guy, but I don't think I'm the smartest guy in the room. And but let me give you some, maybe just tell some stories of kind of the history. That might be the easiest way to answer this. You've probably heard my story about when I was a kid and I got allergies, and then as I outgrew them, and then they came back again when I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. And a neighbor of mine had some energy technology, and he did some testing. He determined that oleanders and pyracantha were the two new plants that I was exposed to, that I was actually reacting to. He then made me an energetic remedy, and in 10 days, my allergy symptoms completely went away, which was just amazing because I'd had lots of years of experience with my allergies and I knew nothing ever worked that well. Well, that started me on a journey of getting into energy medicine. And as Daniel mentioned about the meetings being addictive, I think energy medicine was kind of addictive too, because it was common to see miracles. And in the course of then that journey that started with the allergies and with the cure, I got to know a lot of the early pioneers in the complementary and alternative medicine around the world. And I've probably been to more medical shows than most people get to, because I was just in that business and I spent probably almost half my time on the road. And maybe that's why I've been married so many years. But in the course of all that exposure and learning about energy medicine from the Eastern perspective, from the European perspective, which is a little bit different than Eastern medicine, learning about allopathic medicine, learning about complementary medicine, learning about homeopathy, it was just a great opportunity to gather a lot of disparate information that most people just don't encounter in the course of a lifetime. And then I had my own practice, and so I was seeing patients at the same time. And in that experience, that added to my, really to the understanding, not so much from the technology side, but from the human side. And I learned that energetically, we can predict disease and the cure fairly accurately. It is not a recognized modality. It's not recognized by the FDA because it hasn't undergone the scrutiny and the testing and the controlled testing that it needs to. But it falls into the wellness space well. And on the Zyto side that Daniel mentioned earlier, we build equipment. We actually have FDA registered equipment in that company, but we still don't use it as a diagnostic. We use it as an information gathering tool set. And then according to the license that you hold as a healthcare professional, you can then use that information to kind of build a better, faster diagnosis. But you don't make the diagnosis based on our equipment. About 14 years ago, we got involved with a technology that relied on voice, and we used it to facilitate a process we call perception reframing. It turns out that perception creates your reality, and if you can't see something, if you can't perceive something, it doesn't exist, at least not for you. And what I learned from applying that in a clinic is that people are built, that, you know, the way God put us together, we're built to always make our best decision. And so when we make poor decisions, it's usually because we don't see a better alternative. And so the poor choice is our best choice as far as we're concerned. You may have had friends who do stupid things, and you look at them and say, gosh, why do they keep doing those stupid things? And then you say, hey, what you're doing is stupid, and they keep doing it because they can't see what you can see. They don't perceive it. So we use that technology as a way to help people expand their ability to perceive, and when that happens, you naturally make better choices. And you make better choices at a subconscious level, because most of our choices, most of the energy patterns that we follow in our lives are driven by our subconscious. So we took that information, we took those experiences, and all of that got rolled into Limbic Arc. Lisa mentioned that she had bought one of the original Limbic Arcs. I built a technology about probably 23 years ago, and we called it Limbic Arc. It was based on our ability to take a digital file, download it into a person, and then if that person would study the information contained in the digital file, they would actually learn faster and they would score higher on a test. And we tested that and found that you would score routinely 10 to 30% better on a test. We found out one thing was you can't get spontaneously smarter, because we wondered, oh, maybe this is cool. Maybe all you have to do is get the download and you don't have to study and it'll make you smarter. And we found out very quickly from testing that that is not the case. You actually have to get both. And if you get both, that's where you get the benefit. Well, in the last 23 years, the delivery mechanisms available to us are much more elegant than they were in the late 90s. The internet was really not much in the late 90s. And so we were using hardware and software, a laser and things like that to get the job done. Today, because of the internet and because of the tools that are available to us from a software development point of view, it makes the Limbic Arc experience much more elegant, much more seamless, and our ability to reach out across the world very rapidly is actually a reality. It was not a reality back in the late 90s. But all of that information, so I guess I need to roll this back into the consciousness. Humans are amazing people. I mean, we're an amazing creation, and our bodies run on information. And it doesn't matter what kind of help you receive or I receive, any help will spill into every aspect of my life. So let's take your friend who is making silly choices. If you can help your friend see a better way, you will actually improve their health. At the same time, if you see a deficiency in their health and you can provide them some intervention that improves their health, they will make better choices, because the healthier we are, the smarter we are, the more functional we are. Emotions, energy, and physiology all fold together in a very complex way. And I think it's that knowledge that probably contributes more to what you would call the consciousness of the Limbic Arc. Our goal, we have a BHAG. I don't know, a BHAG, it's spelled BHAG, and it stands for a big, hairy, audacious goal. Our BHAG is to, over the next 2 years, in fact, the BHAG is this: by May 30th, 2022, Limbic Arc and Zyto and our strategic partners will have a collective field effect that will improve the quality of life of 1 billion people. That's our goal. Now, you might look at that and say, oh yeah, this is one of those billion people deals that everybody has. It's actually feasible to do that, and I'll explain why. Yes, Ron, I agree. Wow. I think we're going to actually do it. But everybody has a sphere of influence. And on average, every human on the planet has a sphere of influence of about 150 other people. What that means is, if I can improve Daniel's quality of life in some way, it will have a field effect, a spillover effect to 150 other people. So if you take 1 billion people and you divide that by 150, you have to get to about 6.5 million people to influence 1 billion. Now, what we did is we said, okay, well, that's too easy, because over the last 16 years, we've exceeded that number. So let's cut it in half. So we cut it from 150 to 75, it goes to 13 million. And if you cut it in half again, it goes to 26.5 million. So our goal is to directly impact the lives of between 13 and 26 million people. And if we do that, we can comfortably say we have improved the quality of life of 1 billion people on the planet. So that's really our driving force. That's what keeps us going every day.
Thank you so much. You answered about 3 questions I had in that.
Oh, good.
And we're
Yeah.
with you on a billion. We're with you, and not from a la perspective, as in it's really possible, and we know that
It is.
too.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. And that leads right into my next question, Dr. Cook, which is, what is wellness to you? Like, what do you see real, true wellness as? Because what we see a lot, out there in the world, right, is people having symptoms and then they're problem solving their lives through supplements or pharmaceuticals or whatever, or they think, and I've had this happen a couple times now, where people are saying, well, how long do I need to be on this? And I have my perspective of long-term wellness, but I would love to have your perspective on two things. One is, what do you see as available for people in wellness and quality of life? But also, if we're delivering what our bodies are requiring on a consistent basis for years, what do you see, us and our bodies having available to us in 20, 30, or 40 years?
About 8 years ago, well, can I tell you a long answer, Corey? Is that okay? Okay.
Totally.
Just before my 60th birthday, by the way, birthdays don't bother me, but when I'm just about ready to turn 60, I know you can't believe I'm over 60, but I am. I was just a bum. It was just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be 60. It was just really bothering me. Part of the reason it bothered me is because my dad died of a heart attack when he was 54. So I knew that, okay, I probably got a genetic predisposition for heart problems, and I've outlived my dad by 6 years. I mean, I've got one foot in the grave and the other foot's on a skateboard. And so I was walking around like this bum, and I'm sure everybody at the office would just, wished I'd climb into a body bag so they could throw me in the dumpster and get rid of me. But one day, just before my birthday, I got in my car and I left the office. To make a long story short, I pulled up to an intersection, and it was it was 2 lanes going each direction, and it was a complex intersection. There was this huge truck to the left of me. It was a big jacked up pickup truck, and so I couldn't see anything to the left. And the turning lane was running, and so the people coming opposite direction from us were turning in front of us. That light turned red. Our light turned green. This big truck and I both pulled out. The big truck stopped. I don't know why he stopped, so I continued going. And when I got out where I could see that there was a girl who was coming through this opposite turning lane. She was texting. She was running the red light, and I slammed on my brakes, and she slammed on her brakes, and her car came within 2 inches of hitting my door. So I have to pause because it was it was an emotional experience, because at the moment that happened, into my mind came the words, when it's your time to go, I've got lots of ways to take you. Well, after that, I quit being a bum. I realized that, that's true. When it's my time to die, I'm going to die. And 60 is a good life. I mean, I had a great life up until then. If I died, it'd be okay. Well, a couple of years later, I got diagnosed with cancer, and I had a 3.5-year experience with cancer. I went through two bouts of it. I had 3 heart attacks. I had a bowel obstruction. I went septic 3 times. I spent 90 days in the hospital at one stint. It was an interesting journey, and I had several brushes with death, realizing that, okay, if it's time, I'll go, and if it's not, I won't. Well, obviously, I didn't die. But in the course of those years, I realized that the challenge or the opportunity in life shouldn't be, I want to live to be 180. It should be, I want to live today with the most quality I can get into my life. And if tomorrow it's over, then I've had a good life. So longevity to me doesn't mean the number of years you are mortal. It means the quality of the days that you spent as a mortal. And so when we say to people, our goal is to improve the quality of life, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make today better for you. And that's my definition of wellness. Now, what I've learned over the years of clinical experience is there are a couple of emotions that I think are key to knowing what your quality of life is, or how well you are. And those two emotions are love and gratitude. I believe love and gratitude are actually symptoms of a well-functioning energy system. So if you are running on all cylinders, you're going to feel more love and you're going to feel more gratitude. And so that's kind of the barometer that I look for. And that is, are you feeling more love? Are you feeling more gratitude? And if you are, you're doing a good job. You know, things are going okay for you. So that's
I love that. Sorry to interrupt. I wanted to just caveat with that really quick and ask you, so love and gratitude, I'm right there 100% with you when your energy system is working. So how does the limbic arc and adding this information to our, through the quantum field to us affect our joy and happiness and gratitude?
If you have constant low-grade pain, or if you have a low-grade chronic inflammation, that condition is going to impact your energy flow. It's going to impact the things that you do. Fiona, I believe it was Fiona who told us about, she hasn't felt like she wanted to exercise, but now she has the motivation, and so she's exercising. It doesn't matter how we improve someone's life. We can improve it energetically, we can improve it emotionally, we can improve it functionally or physiologically. Any improvement is going to spill over into all aspects of our life. And I think the reason that Limbic Arc has a profound impact is because we are delivering information through a field effect, and we're doing it in a way that the body recognizes. The body runs on information primarily. I mean, if without an information system, you die very quickly. By putting this information into our field through the info boost, your body then takes that information and uses it in any way it needs to, and that's when you start to see these amazing things happen, because some people need less pain, some people need less inflammation, some people just need to feel more gratitude, some people need to sleep better, and it just spills over. And so as things start to run better, then what I say is look for the love and gratitude, and if you feel more, Limbic Arc's working.
I love that so much. Tracy, you're up.
All right, which leads perfectly. You have been brilliant in, you've actually, I'm looking at our list going tick, tick, tick.
Oh, good.
So I wanted to dive in a little bit into the subconscious and the mind movies, because you talked about the mind movie last week, and with trauma. And when I did mine, because I've been doing this for so long, and like Corey and Delaney, like as coaches and as individuals that are been practicing and playing in consciousness and awareness and blah blah blah, we've done a lot of stuff. So when I did this, I actually invited my subconscious, because that to me is where I don't know what lays in there. So I've been running this, and it's been really phenomenal. So my question in that is really, how does the arc, the Limbic Arc, really work within our subconscious about that? Because one of the things I discovered is that by just being that invitation of having the subconscious being involved, that things I actually wouldn't have normally termed as trauma, or the things I thought I required, brings in a different energy. So can you kind of talk about how the Limbic Arc really works within the subconscious and that translates over into our body and our emotional state.
Okay. At a conscious level, at a thinking level, we process about 2,000 pieces of information every second. At a subconscious level, we process in that same second over 400 million pieces of information. So if you think of that in terms of dollars, you've got $2,000 versus $400 million. You're way smarter than you think. You're way smarter than you're aware that you are. And the dividing line between the conscious and the subconscious is primarily a mechanism in your brain, a group of structures there that are called the reticular activation system. The reticular activation system filters out all of the low-level conversation and information processing that goes on in your body, because if you had to manage that at a conscious level, you would be comatose. I mean, we just don't have the mental capacity to deal with that kind of with that volume of information. So what we have done, and we've done this with the Zyto technology, and we've done it with Limbic Arc. If you want to go slow and painful, then approach, I'll speak clinically. If you want to go slow and painful, approach the patient from a conscious point of view, because you're talking now to the dumbest part of them. Smart as they might be, it's the dumbest part. If you want to move fast and effortlessly, then you present your information to them at a level below the reticular activation system. Because at that level, they will pick up the information, incorporate it, and make a change in a matter of seconds or minutes, where it may take a matter of months to get the same work done if you're processing it at a conscious level. So it really comes back to how we're built. I mean, a human body is just an incredible piece of technology, if you look at it that way. We're born into an energy pattern, and that energy pattern includes all of the memories that have been laid down by our forefathers. And one of the reasons that we're built that way is because we don't want to have to relearn everything that our forefathers and foremothers have learned. And so to some degree, it's just passed on naturally. Well, not everything that our forefathers learned was functional. Some of the things they did were stupid. And so we have these traditions that we are born into, and we just perpetuate them, and we don't think about them because they're run subconsciously. If you can educate, or if you can inform a person at a subconscious level, and you can help them at a subconscious level perceive an alternative to dysfunction, they will naturally choose function. And I believe that's the reason why you can actually do miraculous things very quickly with Limbic Arc. It's because we're not interfacing at a conscious level. It is subconscious.
Awesome. So the second part of that question really is the languaging that you talk about, right? Because I've been trained as to, talk in the way of what you'd like to create. Mm-hmm. But when we're recording our Spark, you're saying actually address what is happening, not the outcome. Could you just how does that work within that?
Well, actually, Tracy, you can do it any way. You can talk about your current circumstance, and you can talk about it in a positive way or a negative way. So you can say, I'm broke and I hate it. Or you can say, I want to have more abundance. That's your present reality. Or you can say, in 2 weeks from now, I'd like to have an extra $100. And so you're talking about a future abundance. Or you could say, in a week from now, I'd like to not be as broke as I am now. The reason why it doesn't matter how you frame it in positive or negative terms is because once you've focused on the intent, the energy of that intent is carried in your voice. And that's what biases the spark to then ignite this algorithm that we've got in a way that then scores the library items towards what you need in order to accomplish what your intent is. I don't know if that answered it.
She must have fallen out of her chair, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw my screen shift and I don't see her on the screen now.
Yeah, no, me either. You know, when you're talking about that leads into something that fascinates me and the girls too, I'm sure, is that what I perceive is happening too is that there is this connection, a deepening connection with our very own bodies and physiology and the magic and the miracle that they are, because it's kind of breaking us out of that being the passive receivers of what is going to solve the problem, and all of a sudden you now are empowered. And so I'm wondering, what else are the possibilities, and what do you know is coming in relation to that deepening of our own consciousness and self-empowerment and trust in self through this technology?
If the average person on the planet has 150, a sphere of influence that extends to 150, my guess is the people on this call probably have spheres of influence that go way beyond that. And if you raise your consciousness in any way, you will also raise the consciousness of the people around you. For example, let's say you have some intolerant friends and you raise your consciousness, which includes more tolerance. As they're around you, they will probably feel your positive energy, and you'll see a breakdown in their intolerance. They become more tolerant people. That raises the consciousness. When we first came out 23 years ago with this first Limbic Arc, which was the learning accelerator, I was excited. I thought, wow, this is really cool. This is going to sell like hotcakes because people want to learn faster. And so I started talking to people who were not energy savvy, and they immediately glazed over. I mean, their eyes just went bloop. I could have been speaking Martian to them. It was because they had no frame of reference. The consciousness of the world was not at a level where this was even considered a possibility. And so for most people, it wasn't a possibility. Well, that's the reason we shelved the product back then. Today, one of the reasons this product is going to succeed is because our consciousness as a group of humans living on the planet is much, I think, higher. And I think we're much more open to the possibility, not the possibility, the reality that you can be influenced through a field effect at a subconscious level, and it can improve your life. And as people understand and accept that, they're more likely to embrace the technology. As that happens, that's how we're going to hit the BHAG. That's how we're going to raise the quality of life for 1 billion people.
I just got to say, and I know everyone here is the same, the immense gratitude to you and the team working on this, because we've been waiting and there's been so much frustration around all of that. So this technology has already relieved this massive amount of frustration in so many people's worlds that have been into the conscious movement and the energy healing movement already. So my take on what's coming is, I mean, I can't say verbally what that is, but energetically is just so massive. And it's at such a time as this. I think it was Wendy who used that term yesterday. At such a time as this across the planet, and with all of the distress and destruction that's going on, this is the gift. And I think for people, because I know we all get contacted by people going, so how do I share it? What's the best way to share it? People feeling like I'm really uncomfortable selling things or pushing. Well, you don't need to, do you? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, the fact of the matter is we are all built to do this. And as we continue to evolve consciously or subconsciously, I believe that we will find access to realities and the tools and the capabilities that will make this look like, you know, a bicycle with training wheels on. But in order to get to that level, we have to have a bicycle with training wheels on it. And especially if you are new to the whole concept of energy and the quantum fields, and I think that's where Limbic Arc serves all of us well, because we talk to people about these realities, and most people just don't have the time or the patience to discipline themselves to find out and to master those capabilities that are innate in us. But if we give them a tool like the Limbic Arc that applies the same principle, but it applies it using technology, it adds credibility and it makes it easy. And it then sparks our interest in, wow, if we can do this, well, can we do more? And can we do more? And it keeps us moving down that path of subconscious evolution, for want of a better word.
I love that. Love everything about all of that. And I have one more quick question, because I know we're coming up on time here, that I think that a lot of us have been getting, which kind of has to do with all of this. We're creating greater wellness, but also quality of life. And so some people, you know, activate the app and they start their first spark scan and they don't feel anything. And other people feel something immediately. So I just would love your perspective on, you know, how long would you recommend somebody to, you know, go for, you know, to see if it's actually working for them?
Well, I would say to someone, of course, we've got the friends and family plan. And so you can always give somebody essentially a free account if there's one of these accounts you're paying for. But if I'm going to try it for myself, what you could say to me is, look, you're going to risk $100. Okay, pay $100. You get this for a month, and for a month, actually apply it. When I went to see Bill Roberson in Las Vegas, the dentist friend of mine who gave me the remedy that fixed my allergies, he said, put 10 drops 3 times a day under your tongue. And nothing happened until the 10th day. And on the 10th day, it all happened. I think that it took 10 days for my body to take the information and actually incorporate it at a physiological level. And I think the same is true with Limbic Arc. If you are sensitive energetically, you will sense the energy shift, but it still may take 10 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks to actually see the physical benefit of the shift in the energy. So the other thing I would tell people is, don't get so myopic that you only focus on what you want the outcome to be. For example, if you have a pain problem, and so you turn on the pain info boost and you let it run, and 10 days later, you still have some pain, and maybe it's just as bad as it was. Well, focus on other things. I mean, how is your appetite? How is your sleep? Are you sleeping better? How's your attitude? Are you more grumpy or less grumpy? Are you easier to be around? Do you enjoy being around people more than you did before? You know, all of these things will point in the direction that, yes, you're making headway. In homeopathy, there's a concept, it's called peeling the onion. And the concept is that when the patient presents, you deal with the outer layer of the onion, and you deal with that until it's cured or fixed or whatever, resolved, and that peels away, and now you have the next layer of the onion. Well, my pain, or the pain issue of the person trying the Limbic Arc, it may be down there 4 or 5 layers. And so as you get to that layer, you've got to peel off 4 or 5 other layers. And if you're not paying attention to other possibilities, you're going to say, well, this thing's not working because my pain's still here. When in fact, your life has improved. You just haven't paid enough attention to it to know that, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not such an ornery old man anymore. And that's positive. Even though I've still got some pain, I'm just not bitching and moaning at everybody around me. So
I love
But-
that. Thank you. Thank you for addressing that. I think that we've become a culture of instant gratification. And if we don't see that instant result, then it's not working and we go into that assumption and that conclusion. Whereas so many things going on with our bodies are so much deeper. And I love how you said, like, your body is going to work on whatever is actually first for your body, not for your mind. It's that subconscious that's really communicating with the app. So thank you so much, Dr. Cook. We so appreciate this, and we really hope this is the first of many of these deep dives that we get to have with you. So thank you.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Super grateful.
Awesome. Ladies, you did terrific, and Dr. Cook as usual as well. I'm going to throw out one question out there because Debbie asked a couple of times on the chat, and she had asked, how safe and secure is this technology out there? And I think she's referring to, you know, we're using the voice scans and, you know, spark scans and those kind of things. How safe and secure is this, Dr. Cook? You've mentioned it before. I think Debbie's fairly new.
Yeah, it's the answer is it's as secure as it can be. Let me tell you what we do, and we obviously follow the security, the best security, or what's the right word? The best security protocols that we can. The voice, when you talk and speak into your phone or your computer, we don't record the words. We don't care what the words are. We record the energy in the voice. And that energy pattern is then used to generate the spark. The spark we save, but none of the other stuff is saved. So you don't have to worry about somebody getting in and hacking into your voice or, you know, the words that you say, because we just don't deal with those. The other is, you know, I can't say that this would never be hacked because I don't know that you're ever 100% hack proof. But we are conscientious about that in a very rigid way, and so it's as secure as anything that I know out there as far as software goes. Awesome. The other, well, and Bob, let me mention too, the other part of this is that you can't give somebody information and have it have an effect unless they want it to have an effect. So you can't be brainwashed with the limbic arc. That's what I'm saying. You know, if I look at somebody and let's say their posture is crappy, and I say, you know what, you'd feel better if you'd straighten up. Well, they don't have to take that information. They can continue to slouch if they want to. And that's the way the limbic arc works. It gives you information, and at a subconscious level, you then take it and apply it, you know, to your benefit, not to your destruction. We're not built to destroy ourselves. We're built to support ourselves.
Awesome, Dr. Cook. It has always been a pleasure to have you on our program, and thank you so much for coming on here with us. If you could see all the chats that were going on, amazing, wow. I mean, everybody's saying all kinds of things. And ladies, Tracy Reiferscheid, got it, Tracy. That was amazing. That your question, yeah. Your questions were amazing. Delaney, awesome. Loved where you went with that, and Dr. Cook's response to that, and Corey Michelle. Ladies, it was a pleasure to have you on here. You went a different direction than we could go, and loved having you on the program. Thank you for participating in the roundtable with Dr. Cook. And I'm going to turn it back to you, Daniel.
So until tomorrow with Ron Spence here at 3 p.m. Quantum Nomads TV. Just remember, what we can't do alone, we can do together. Bye, everybody.
Boom.